Hi students, welcome back to Zoology class. In the last video, we have seen about origin and evolution of life. Two topics we have seen. Today, the rest of the topics we are going to see. Let's enter into the first topic. Theories of evolution. Theories of evolution. First, let's see what is evolution. Evolution is the gradual change occurring in living organisms over a period of time. Evolution is the gradual change occurring in living organisms over a period of time. Formation of new species due to changes in specific characters over several generations as response to natural selection is called evolution. So these natural changes are explained through the theories of evolution by Lamarck and Darwin. So first we are going to see the Lamarckism. So the Lamarckism theory was proposed by Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. Jean-Baptiste Lamarck was a French naturalist well known for his theory of evolution. Lamarck's theory of evolution was published in Philosophic Zoology in the year 1809. So his theory of evolution was published in Philosophic Zoology. The name of the book is Philosophic Zoology and the year also 1809. This is the book of Lamarck, Philosophy Zoologic. This book is popularly known as Theory of Inheritance of Acquired Characters or Use and Disuse Theory or Lamarckism. So what are the three names? Theory of Inheritance of Acquired Characters or Use and Disuse Theory or Lamarckism. Principles of Lamarckism. Principles of Lamarckism. So the first principle is internal vital force. Internal vital force. Living organisms or their component parts tend to increase in size continuously. So all the living organisms or the parts of the organisms tend to increase in size continuously. This increase in size is due to the inherent ability of the organism. So this increase in size is due to the or because of the inherent ability of the organisms. Now you see in this diagram, horse diagram, is it? So this is a modern horse. Nowadays when we are seeing only this modern horse. Yes, so this modern horse is evolved from Phliohippus. The Phliohippus horse is evolved from Merychippus. The Merychippus horse is evolved from Oligohippus. Oligohippus horse is evolved from Eohippus. So when we see the first picture, Eohippus, the horse is small. So in the next generation, the horse is little more big, next little more. So now the horse is big in size. So because of the evolution only, now the size increased. So from the beginning small in size, at last the size is big. So because of the evolution, the size increased. Environment and new needs. A change in the environment brings about changes in the need of the organisms. If there is a change in the environment, the particular organisms also need a change. In response to the changing environment, the organisms develop certain adaptive characters. Because of the changes in the environment, the organisms develop certain adaptive characters in their body. The adaptations of the organisms may be in the form of development of new parts of the body. Sometimes the adaptations are new parts of the body also arises, or sometimes the particular organ may grow in larger size. For example, giraffe. Once upon a time, giraffes were there. In those giraffes were too tall. Nowadays modern giraffes also there, so these giraffes are too tall because on those days foods were available, but nowadays there is a scarcity of the food. Because of the continuous stretching of the neck, these giraffes got tall neck as well as tall legs. Use and disuse theory. If an organ is used constantly, the organ develops well and gets strengthened. So when we are using the organ continuously, the organ develops well and gets strengthened. Example, see this picture. So he is a wrestler. Continuously he was exercising. Because of the exercise, he got the six-pack body. Is it? So because of the exercise only, his muscles strengthened and got good development. When an organ is not used for a long time, it gradually degenerates. So when we are not using an organ for a long time, the organ must be gradually degenerates. Example, kiwi bird. So once upon a time, this kiwi bird was not using the wings. Because of that, the wings gradually degenerates. The ancestors of giraffe had a short neck and short forelimbs. Ancestors of giraffe, once upon a time giraffes were there, so those giraffes had short neck and short forelimbs. Due to shortage of grass, they were forced to feed on leaves from trees. So because of the shortage of the grass, these giraffes were forced to feed on grass or feed on leaves from the tall trees. So the continuous stretching of their neck and forelimbs resulted in the development of long neck and long forelimbs. So because of the continuous stretching, the giraffe got long neck as well as long forelimbs. So this one organ is used constantly, the organ develops well and gets strengthened. So the degenerated wing of kiwi, that is example for when an organ is not used for a long time, it gradually degenerates. The fourth principle is theory of inheritance of acquired characters. Theory of inheritance of acquired characters. When the environment changes, the animals develop adaptive structures. If there is a change in the environment, the animals develop adaptive structures to survive in the environment. The characters developed by the animals during their lifetime in response to the environmental changes are called acquired characters. For example, giraffe. Now we have discussed about the giraffe. So because of the scarcity of the grass, the giraffe was continuously stretching their neck so that it got the long neck. So that character is called what? Acquired character. Yes. The acquired characters are transmitted to the offspring by the process of inheritance. So this acquired character are transmitted to the offspring by the process of inheritance. So that character is transmitted from the parent to the next generation. Understand, children? The character is transmitted to the offspring by the process of inheritance. That means through the next generation, from the particular parent to the next generation, it can be transmitted. Theory of natural selection. Theory of natural selection. This natural selection theory was proposed by Charles Robert Darwin or Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin was one of the great naturalists and philosopher of 18th century. He was born in England in 1809. While studying in college, through his friendship with Professor J.S. Henslow, he was fascinated towards nature. While studying in college at England, he got a friendship with botany professor J.S. Henslow. Because of that, he became familiar with botany. At that time, the British admirably planned a voyage of exploration for 5 years on a ship named HMS Beagle around South America. He travelled in a ship named HMS Beagle for 5 years as a naturalist. Dr. Henslow was asked to nominate a young naturalist for the voyage. Darwin was given the opportunity. During his 5 years voyage, he visited many parts of the world, a number of islands including the Galapagos Island and Pacific Island. So he visited South America, Galapagos Island and Pacific Island and other places also. Darwin made elaborate observations on nature of the land, plants and animals of the regions he visited. So what are the regions he has visited? In that particular regions, plant, animals, then land, everything he has observed. He further worked for a period of 20 years to develop the theory of natural selection. After that 20 years, he has worked for the development of the theory of natural selection. Darwin published his observations and conclusions under the name Origin of Species in 1859. So the book of Darwin demonstrates the fact of evolution. This book elaborates on the theory of natural selection for evolutionary transformation, the origin of species. That book elaborates on the theory of natural selection for evolutionary transformation. Principles of Darwinism. First point is overproduction. Overproduction. Living beings have the ability to reproduce more individuals and form their own progeny. So all the living beings have the ability to produce their young ones. They multiply in a geometrical manner. Example, elephant. Elephant's lifespan is 90 years. After 40 years only it can start to produce young ones. In the elephant's lifespan, it can produce 6 young ones. It can produce 6 young ones. So when we are not disturbing the elephants, 750 years when we are not disturbing the elephants, it can produce 19 million elephants. It can produce 19 million elephants. So all the organisms have the capacity to produce next generation. This leads to overproduction. All the organisms have the capacity to produce next generation. This leads to overproduction. Struggle for existence. The population increases in a geometrical ratio. Population increases in an uncountable manner. But space and food for the organism remain same. But the shelter as well as the food for the organism remain same. There is a shortage in the food. This leads to competition which is called struggle for existence. The shortage in the space and food leads to competition. That is known as struggle for existence. It is of 3 types. 3 types of struggle for existence are there. That is intraspecific struggle, interspecific struggle, and environmental struggle. First one is intraspecific struggle. Intraspecific struggle. Intraspecific struggle means competition among the individuals of same species. Competition among the individuals of same species. Here deer. So both the deers belongs to same species. Here also kangaroo belongs to same species. So both the kangaroos are fighting for food or something. So competition among the individuals of same species, that is known as intraspecific struggle. Second one, interspecific struggle. Interspecific struggle. Competition between the organisms of different species living together. Different species. So here lion and tiger both belongs to different species. So they are fighting for what purpose? Maybe food or shelter or some other purpose. So this is known as interspecific struggle. Third one, environmental struggle. Environmental struggle. Natural conditions like extreme heat or cold, drought and floods can affect the existence of organisms. So natural conditions affect the living conditions of organisms. Example, heat or cold and drought and floods. So these are the natural conditions affect the existence of organisms. Third one, variations. The occurrence of variation is a characteristic feature of all plants and animals. So the changes are very important for all the plants and animals. Small variations are important for evolution. So only the small variations are very important for the evolution. Favorable variations are useful to the organism. Favorable variations. So what are the variations are essential? Only those variations are known as favorable variations. So these favorable variations are useful to the organism. Unfavorable variations are harmful or useless to the organism. For example, drought, flood, too hot or too cold. These are unfavorable variations. So these variations are harmful or useless to the organisms. The fourth principle is survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. All organisms face the struggle for existence. So all the organisms face the struggle. What are the struggle? Heat, cold, drought or flood. The organism provided with the favorable variations succeed in it. So some of the organisms only succeeded in this struggle. These organisms are fit for survival. So only those organisms are fit for surviving in the environment. Other animals are unfit to survive and they perish. So remaining organisms, they are unfit. They cannot survive in the environment. The process of selection of organisms with favorable variation is called as natural selection. So the process of selection of organisms with favorable variations. So which are the organisms can survive in this environment. Okay, only some of the organisms only can survive in the environment. So that with the favorable variations, so that favorable variations is called as natural selection. The last principle is origin of species. Origin of species. New species originates by the gradual accumulation of favorable variations for a number of generations. New species originates. New species arises by the gradual accumulation, not sudden accumulation, gradual, slow accumulation of favorable variations for a number of generations. Generation to the next generation, one generation to the next generation, then it pass on to the next generation, like that. So number of generations. Variation. Variation is the difference found among the individuals of the same species and the offspring of the same parent. It is the difference found among the individuals of the same species. Now you see this diagram, whether all the persons are same. No, totally different. Okay, we can find out the variations easily. So it is the difference found among the individuals of the same species and the offspring of the same parent. It is a raw material of evolution. It is the basic material. This variation is the basic material of evolution. What is evolution? Evolution is the gradual change occurring in living organisms over a period of time. Evolution is the gradual change occurring in living organisms over a period of time. Without variation, there is no evolution. If there is no variation, there is no evolution. Types of variations. So first variation is known as somatic variations. Somatic variations. They affect the body cells of the organisms. So these variations affect only the body cells. Body cells or somatic cells. They are not inheritable. These characters cannot be transmitted from one generation to the next generation. They occur due to the environmental factors. Based on the environmental factors only, these variations occur in the person's body. So see this diagram. These parents basically they were white. So continuously they were worked under the sunlight. Because of the continuous sunlight, their skin color changed into black. But their child, so this child got white in color. So because these characters, this color, skin color cannot transmitted from one generation to the next generation. So second one, this person, because of the continuous practice, he got the six-pack body. So he's a wrestler. He got the six-pack bodies, but this body character cannot transmitted from the next generation. Okay, so these are somatic variations. They occur due to the environmental factors. These characters cannot be transmitted from one generation to the next generation. Germinal variations. Germinal variations. They are produced in germ cells of an organism. These variations are produced in germ cells of an organism. What's meant by germ cells? They are reproductive cells. In male, that is the sperm, and female, it is the ova. Is it? So these are germ cells. So they are produced in germ cells of an organism. They are inherited. So these characters are inherited, transmitted from one generation to the next generation. They may be present in ancestors or may occur suddenly. So these characters, these variations present in ancestors. Ancestors meaning our forerunners. Okay, so these variations present in ancestors or may occur suddenly. Some occasions it may occur suddenly. See this diagram. So Homo habilis. Here Homo erectus. This is Homo sapiens. So here on the body, on the face, body, totally hairs are present. Here somewhat different. So some variations may occur in this Homo erectus body. But here human being, modern human being, Homo sapiens, there is no hair on the body. So variations occur. So these are the germinal variations. So they are produced in germ cells of an organism. They are inherited. They may be present in ancestors or may occur suddenly. The germinal variation is divided into two types. First one is continuous variation or fluctuation variation. Number two, discontinuous variation. First, let's see continuous variation or fluctuation variations. Intermediate form is available. These variations are small variations, slight variations are there. They occur among individuals of a population. So, these variations occur within a population. They occur by gradual accumulation in a population. Gradual accumulation is present in the population. Example, skin color, height and weight of an individual, color of eye, etc. See this picture, this is the skin color. Is a skin example of skin color. So in the just you imagine this is a population. So first person, the color of skin is what? Pure white. Okay, so last person's skin color is black. In between, different colors are there. Different colors are there. So small variations arises. So next second person or second generation, slightly changes are present. Then third, little more changes. So like that, small changes occur. Okay, so they occur by gradual accumulation in a population. So in between, intermediate form is available. These are the intermediate form. So first person and the last person. In between, intermediate forms are present. So these are small variations. So this variation is continuous. So this is known as continuous variation or fluctuation variation. One more example, height and weight of an individual. Here the first person's height is 5.5 inch. Last person height is 6.4 inch. In between, intermediate form is available. Okay, so these persons show different height and weight. So these are intermediate forms. So these are small variations. Discontinuous variation. They occur suddenly in an organism due to mutations. So these variations occur suddenly in an organism due to mutations. Mutation meaning changes in the DNA or there is an error in the DNA. They do not have any intermediate forms. So these variations don't have any intermediate forms. The previous one, that is continuous variation. So the continuous variation have a lot of intermediate forms, but here there is no intermediate forms. These large variations are not useful for evolution. So this is a large variation, but these variations are not useful for evolution. Only the continuous variation is useful for evolution. Example, short-legged Ankan sheep, 6 or more digits in human, etc. Digits meaning fingers. So this is a sheep. So this sheep produce the next generation sheep. Because in this sheep, the DNA level, there is a change. Because of the change in the DNA, the next generation sheep are the sheep are having short legs. So these sheep are known as Ancon sheep. So this is the large variations. Changes occur in the DNA level. Okay, so this is the discontinuous variation, but this discontinuous variations are not useful for evolution. Textbook evaluation. Roman number 1, choose the correct answer. Question number 1. Biogenetic law states that option A, ontogeny and phylogeny go together. B, ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. C, phylogeny recapitulates ontogeny. D, there is no relationship between phylogeny and ontogeny. Correct answer is B, ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. Question number 2. The use and disuse theory was proposed by A, Charles Darwin, B, Ernst Haeckel, C, Jean-Baptiste Lamarck, D, Gregor Mendel. Correct answer, Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. Number 3. Paleontologist deals with A, embryological evidences, B, fossil evidences, C, vestigial organ evidences, D, all the above. Correct answer is fossil evidences. Fossil evidences. Roman number 2, fill in the blanks. Number 1, the characters developed by the animals during their lifetime in response to the changes are called dash. Answer is occurred characters. Occurred characters. Number 2, the degenerated and non-functional organs found in an organism are called dash, vestigial organ. Vestigial organ. Number 3. The forelimb of bat and human are examples of dash organs. Homologous organs. Homologous organs. Number 4. The theory of natural selection for evolution was proposed by dash Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin. Then Roman number 3. State true or false. Correct the false statements. Question number 1. The use and disuse theory of organs was postulated by Charles Darwin. Answer is false. Correct answer Lamarck. Strike out the word Charles Darwin and write Lamarck. Number 2. The homologous organs look similar and perform similar functions, but they have different origin and developmental pattern. Answer is false. Correct answer analogous organs. Question number 3. Bats have evolved from reptiles. Answer true. Roman number 4. Match the following. Here I have given the correct answers. So have to write correctly. Atavism, rudimentary tail and thick hair on the body. Vestigial organs, caudal vertebrae and vermiform appendix. Analogous organs, a wing of a bat and a wing of an insect. Homologous organs, a forelimb of a cat and a bat's wing. Next, Roman number 4, short answer questions. Question number 1. The degenerated wing of a kiwi is an acquired character. Why is it an acquired character? Answer, page number 277. 277. So what are the points I am reading? Only have to mark that points. Okay, page number 277. Right side. Theory of inheritance of acquired characters. That fourth point, that paragraph, first line, first point. When there is a change in the environment, the animals respond to the change. Second point, they develop adaptive structures. The characters developed by the animals during their lifetime in response to the environmental changes are called acquired characters. Then third point, same page, left side, number 3, use and disuse theory, that paragraph. Third point, Lamarck's use and disuse theory states that if an organ is used constantly, the organ develops well and gets strengthened. When an organ is not used for a long time, it gradually degenerates. Then fourth point, same page, right side, first paragraph, fifth line. The degenerated wing of kiwi is an example for organ of disuse. Then Roman number 7, long answer questions. Question number 1. Natural selection is a driving force for evolution. How? Answer, page number 278 and 79. 278 and 279. Here, left side, page number 278, left side, principles of Darwinism. In that heading, near to that, one sentence have to write. Let me read the sentence, have to write it fast. The principles of Darwinism tells that natural selection is a driving force for evolution. Once again I repeat, the principles of Darwinism tells that natural selection is a driving force for evolution. After that, principles of Darwinism, start from that heading, then overproduction, struggle for existence, all the paragraphs have to mark it. Then third paragraph, variations. Fourth paragraph, survival of the fittest or natural selection. Fifth point, origin of species. So till that, have to mark that answer. So these are the answers for today's study portion. Have to learn thoroughly.